What's up guys, Sam here from Fisher, how you going? Hope you're all well. Now today I'm tackling the humble prawn and how to rig it. Now at one stage or another, all of us as fishermen have used prawns for bait. There's no denying it, there's no sidestepping it. Prawns are where most of us start off our fishing careers, and they are one of the most versatile and effective baits you'll ever use. Now, we're lucky enough to have prawns on our doorstep. We can catch them ourselves, we can buy them as bait, all very easily. So I'm going to show you a few ways of how to attack various rigging methods. The first way we're going to look at is how to rig a live prawn. So if you're lucky enough to go cast netting or scoop netting and you can get yourself some live prawns, you're going to be in for a good time, because just about everything will eat a live prawn. There is absolutely no questions about that. The amount of species that will go out of their way to absolutely scoff a live prawn is out of control, and they're very simple to rig. So pretending this guy is as lively as can be, what you want to do is grab yourself an octopus hook like so. That guy there is about a 5/0. This is quite a large prawn. You could even go a bigger hook again, depending on what size, what type of fish you're chasing. So if you're chasing something like a barramundi or something like big implosion feeder, you're going to need quite a bit larger hook, because they're just going to scoff that whole lot whole, and it's going to go down the hatch, and you need something fairly decent to find the mark. Righto, as simple as grabbing your hook point, going through that last tail joint there, straight through, done. It is literally as simple as that. So that prawn is going to stay alive for quite a while, because you haven't pierced any of his vital organs. You just lightly pinned him through the tail there, and he's going to flick around, make a lot of commotion, which is going to attract your predators. They're going to come through, bang, scoff the whole lot in one go, and find that hook here. Now, because that tail section's quite thin, you got good hook exposure, you should be able to get a nice positive hook up. But that will sit on the bottom under a sinker, under a float, however you want to rig it. That's going to keep your prawn alive for a nice long period of time, which is great. So that's one. The next, now I'm using quite a large hook here because I've got large prawns and I want it to be easy for you guys to see. But more than likely you're going to have small prawns, you'll be chasing brim, flathead, that sort of thing. So you can use a lot smaller hook than this one here. Yeah, this is just for examples only. So we're going to show you how to rig a prawn fully intact, whole. So you're not going to take the head off, shell's still on, we just want the whole lot in one bait presentation. So with our hook, we want to go inside the tail there, and you want to thread the prawn on almost like a worm. So you'll find it'll actually bend around the hook, and you'll be able to follow it up, and it's just going to curl around the shank like so, and you want it to be positioned nice and straight. So that hook point, we're going to get it to come out in the middle of the head between all his legs there, and that's going to actually help disguise the hook point. Weary predators, they won't see it as much, so it's a good spot to have that hook point come out like so. Straighten him up, and there you have a whole prawn. That's rigged up nice and straight, it looks natural. That's just going to, you can fish that unweighted, but that's just going to sit or float down like that, nice and natural, and a fish that's going to eat a whole prawn is going to come smash that. You've got good hook point exposure. It's sitting nice and naturally, and that's quite an effective bait. Now, the next way of rigging it, my old man showed me this, is you've got your whole prawn. What you want to do is take the head off, chuck that in the water, because that's a bit of burley. So fish that are a bit tentatively feeding, they're not fully in feed mode, that scent and smell in the water is going to start to fire them up. They're going to start getting keen, and they're hopefully going to find your bait next and scoff it down. But to prepare this bait even further, we're going to peel the shell off, except for that last joint. So take the shell off, the legs will come with it, chuck them in for burley as well. You're left with a partially peeled bit of prawn. Now that's a nice soft bait. That's going to be easy for a big fish to scoff down. Your whiting, big whiting, everything that likes softer, more subtle baits, your drummer, that sort of stuff, they're going to scoff that down. It also releases the scent a lot quicker, so it's going to be easier to find. Pickers will attack that fairly quickly, but if there's big fish in the area, that excitement that the pickers are creating are going to call those big fish in, and hopefully there's still a bit of bait left. They'll come through, clean it up. So rigging this one's very similar. You want to run your hook inside the back of that tail section there. Now for these for these tail baits, I like to use bait holder hooks. Similar with these whole prawn baits here, bait holders are always going to be your best bet. Those little barbs you see on the back of the hook there, I don't know if you can see them on the camera. There you go, hopefully that's in focus. That actually holds the prawn in place and keeps it up the shank so your bait presents nice and naturally and sits nice and straight, as opposed to slipping down and bunching on the hook. But to rig that up, same thing, thread it through the tail. You want to feed it on like a worm, and just before the end you want to pop it out like so. Now again, you've got good hook exposure here, you've got a nice naturally presenting bait that's going to sit nicely in the water, it's going to look good, it's nice and soft, so any weary fish, they're just going to smash it straight down. Now the final one is if you've got large prawns and you're trying to chase small fish, or you just want to use sections of prawns, you want to chase mullet or something small, garfish, anything like that, is you grab your prawn and you peel it all the way, take the whole tail off, and you're just left with sections of prawn like so. So that's just soft prawn meat, raw prawn meat, and that is an absolute morsel to anything in the area. So again, we're using a bait holder hook. If you're chasing brim, something along the lines of a size 1, size 2, going to be perfect. This one here is a 2.0, but that's just so I can show you guys and it makes it a bit easier to see on camera. So same again, thread it on, use those bait holder barbs to keep the bait in place, and that's an absolute gun looking bait there. That's going to attract fish, that's going to get swallowed straight down. You're not going to have any questions about taking that one in. Alright guys, that's the humble prawn and how to rig it. Make sure you get out there and have a fish with them. They're a great bait, they catch just about anything, and they're nice and easy to get your hands on as well. Alright guys, see you on the next video, catch you out there, cheers.